Hello, my name is Stephen Smith, and I'm the Executive Director of the Southern Alliance for Clean Energy. I wanted to take a moment and update you on some activities that our organization has been engaged in over the past 2 months as this devastating oil disaster has unfolded in the Gulf of Mexico. First, let me say we've experienced a number of emotions, not only our organization, but people throughout the southeast and along the coast that have been devastated by this event, including anger at BP for their incompetence, their cavalier attitude, and their lack of transparency for the devastation that they've unleashed on the Gulf of Mexico. We've been frustrated at the federal government for their slow response, their inability, it seems, to manage the magnitude of this spill, and also their lack of being willing to push BP hard enough and allow them to continue to do things like use these toxic dispersants in a way that we still do not understand the long-term consequences of. We've also been depressed just at the sheer magnitude and volume of oil that is spewing into the Gulf of Mexico, and the fact that this crisis continues to go on and on and on unabated for the last 2 months, and it's unclear where the end is. But we must channel these emotions, this anger and this frustration, into productive ways to make sure that this never happens again, and use our collective ability to end offshore drilling and make sure that we're promoting the alternatives that are really going to make sure that this never will happen again. So in that way, we want to say that we support the federal government for raising the escrow account and making sure that they pay the claimants in a responsible and quick way, forcing BP to pay as a polluter, pay for this devastation. We also support the government's ban or moratorium on deep water drilling. We think that should be extended. We do not buy the fact, even though it's hurting folks in Louisiana that are tied to this business, we don't think that drilling should go on. We think this moratorium should be extended. We think this moratorium is absolutely the right thing, and we need to be moving our country away from offshore drilling, not kowtowing to the economic interests of the people that are profiting from this, who have unleashed this devastation. This devastation should be a clear wake-up call that offshore drilling is not something this country needs to be doing. And third, we support the President's initiative to really support alternatives and move quickly forward. We think he needs to be more aggressive in moving forward on supporting a clean energy economy. In mid-May, we asked for people to submit to us a plan that would break that false dichotomy that we have between either we have to import oil from hostile nations in the Middle East, from the Persian Gulf, or we have to drill in the Gulf of Mexico. We called it the Gulf Challenge. We've now had over a dozen responses. We're actually in the process of evaluating those responses, and in the coming days and weeks we're going to be bringing that information forward through webinars so that our members and interested parties can understand that we can build that bridge from where we are now, so dependent and addicted to oil, to a world where we don't need to be that way at all, by using techniques, technologies, innovation, and policies to get us there. So we're excited about the entrants that have been in. Please join us in the coming weeks to learn more about how we're going to bridge a future away from having to drill in the Gulf of Mexico and having to import from potentially hostile nations in the Middle East. And you will learn more about that through our website and our announcements. And in early July, we look forward to sharing the top entrants and then announcing a winner. So please join with us. And finally, our thoughts and prayers are with the citizens along the Gulf Coast. Many of our members, myself and others, have a personal connection to the Gulf Coast, and we are all very concerned about this devastation and hope that we can finally stop the leak and begin to clean up and hopefully learn the valuable lesson that may be in this, that it's time for us to move beyond oil and become a nation that's truly using clean energy innovation so that our children and our children's children do not have to face this devastation in the future. Thank you very much.